Welcome to the Mommy Helper Show. On today's show, professional makeup artist Bhargavi Arunagedi shows you the tricks of her trade and how to make your face up for any time of the day. Next, a marriage and couples therapist, Dr. B, talks about how to raise Indian children in America and how to teach your kids to straddle both cultures successfully. And last, get fashion advice from an industry leader. Shennai Couture founder Shrin Vinyak gives you exclusive tips and tricks on how to dress your best. So kick back, relax, because the next 30 minutes, Mom, is all about you on the Mommy Helper Show. Okay, so maybe we don't look as good as we used to in our teens and early 20s. Maybe we have those dark circles under our eyes or a few laugh lines are coming on our face. Well, we're gonna meet with someone today who's a very special makeup artist and founder of Cinderella Brides. Bhargavi is gonna tell us how to make up our face for morning, noon, and night. And guess what? You don't have to have that caked on look to have that extraordinary look day and night.
For someone who's a warmer skin tone, peaches look good, light pinks. You know, someone who's more pale, maybe they need more of a neutral color or a cool color. So it just really depends. But yeah, you can. It's not really based on outfit, but it's based on the actual makeup look. So if you're going for a more dramatic look, then you're gonna need, you know, something a little bit more dramatic. You know, so like if you had a very heavy eye, maybe you wanted a very lighter, like a lighter cheek, but if you had a more neutral eye and you wanted to draw attention to the cheeks, you can do that. So it all really just depends on, you know, the look that you're putting together. I'm gonna grab a contour powder and I'm just gonna contour your cheeks a little bit.
What's a contour powder?
It basically allows me to kind of give dimension to your cheekbones. It helps to slim out your face. You can apply it here. You can apply it almost like giving a sun-kissed look. You can also use a bronzer as a contouring, you know, powder. You can basically draw it or put a little bit around your face. So almost like where the sun naturally hits your face is where you would apply like a contour. So for you, if I wanted to give you some dimension around your cheek area and maybe your jawline and maybe around here, that's what I would do, okay? So, and I, like even on myself, I have a little bit right on my cheeks and it's a very tiny bit. It's not much, but you can immediately see as I've applied it. Can you kind of see the difference in one side to the other?
Where do you get contour powder from?
I mean, you can go to any cosmetic store and go and shop. Go to the mall, you can go to a drugstore, you can just ask any like makeup counter for that.
And it's something that should be used on special occasions or all the time?
It depends on what you're looking to do. If you want to slim out your face every day, then you can use it every day, okay? This is a very natural looking one. You know, that you'll see that some makeup looks have very intense or very high.
Yeah, how do you avoid looking like a drag queen?
Well, you just use something that's natural and you apply it very lightly on there. So you're not going to use something you're going to use something that's maybe one shade darker than your face. Maybe you'll use something if you want 2 shades darker, but that's to the extent to it. Sometimes people look like a drag queen or look like they have too much on because they're going way out of their color zone. So maybe they're looking, you know, applying something that's 4 or 5 shades darker. And that's why it's kind of looking, you know, too heavy. But for you, you can already see that just
adds definition.
It adds definition. Now, if you wanted to take this look and maybe you felt like it was too heavy, you can go back with your powder brush and you can just blend. You can blend it all out. Okay, so you just don't feel like there's anything on or there's not that definition of line. Okay. And then lastly, you can go in with maybe a shimmer. Most people, they like to have that dewiness on their face. They like to have that little bit of shine. And, you know, a lot of the times my clients will say, oh, can you make me look dewy? Can you, you know, give me that, like, glow? Dewiness is also like a shimmer powder, like a highlighting powder, is also good for people that have mature skin. So it's good for all skin types. But if you feel like you look tired and you want to add a glow to your face, this is a great powder for that. So you know, right on the apples of your cheeks, right above, like kind of where you applied your blush. And I just used my same blush brush and I applied right on the apples of the cheeks, okay? Just to kind of give that nice glowy finish, okay?
How long should someone hold on to their makeup for?
It depends on the makeup. So mascara every 3 months. If your foundation, usually it lasts in the bottle for about 3 years. So it really just depends. But the more you expose things to air, the quicker they will spoil and get bacteria. So the powders last a little bit longer. So it's just really going to depend on, how quick you use it. If you feel like you've had a lot of makeup in your makeup drawer for a long time, get rid of it. Start fresh because, let's face it, what you bought 3, 4, 5 years ago, it's probably not in anymore. Makeup changes, there's always new colors, new styles, things evolving. So you really want to update your look. Like you update your wardrobe, you want to update your makeup. I'm going to give you just a nice little light pop of color on your lips. For a daily wear, a gloss is good. If you were going to a party or an event and you wanted a little bit more of a done-up look, you could use a lip liner, a lipstick, because it's more opaque. So your lips color, it'll be a more solid color. This is wearing lip gloss is more of a sheer color, and it's really great for any time of day. So you can wear it, if you wanted to run out the door, you can put on some mascara, a little bit of a tinted moisturizer, and a lip gloss and walk out the door. That's a really great and easy look for a mom that's on the run. If you were, like what I gave you would be like a great work look, going to the office. And usually once you get used to a routine, this routine that I did on you shouldn't take more than 15 minutes, okay? Because a lot of the times time is an issue in the morning as well. And so 15, 20 minutes is the max that you should spend in the morning on your makeup. Smack your lips for me, please.
Now, what if I want to go from the office to a date night with my husband? What would you recommend I do?
I would recommend you take carry like a nice black eyeliner in your purse, and you can basically put on some eyeliner like inside the waterline of your eye along with outside. So eyes up for me. You can smoke this out a little bit and maybe put a little bit of a darker eyeliner. Eyes up. I love the eyeliners that have the like sponge at the bottom of it because you can kind of smudge out the eyeliner and now even make the eyes pop a little bit more. You see the difference with one eye versus the other?
Sure.
So you looked very natural before, and now you're, starting to look like you're going somewhere. You can also carry around like a nice quad with different colors in it, that you can use for like adding a darker eyeshadow color right on your eyes. And if you're really not used to wearing a lot of makeup, I would recommend, if you really want to learn, you have a desire to learn, eyes up, you can take a class, get trained on how to apply it at least for yourself, because this is a skill or a technique that like down the road you'll save money by just knowing how to apply for yourself. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, even though I'm a makeup artist, I don't carry around a big makeup kit. I carry around a few essentials that I can use on a daily basis if I need to touch up on the go. And this is actually one of my favorite products. It's a lip gloss, and it has a light in it, and it has a mirror. So what that allows me to do is just quickly touch up in the dark. Wherever I am, I have something like a little mirror that I can use. The next essential I always have in my bag is Length and Definition Mascara. This mascara is, I think, important for anyone. If you want to look awake, just putting a couple of coats of mascara on will brighten up your eyes. You don't need anything else, just a little mascara to just look fresh. Okay, so I carry that with me. And then I have an eyeliner, because for me, I have big eyes, so putting on mascara and eyeliner on a daily basis is a must. Okay, and this is just a kohl pencil with a little smudger brush at the end, and you can carry it around if you need to touch up. It's a great thing to have in your purse. And the last thing is a little bit of a blush. I use a nice pretty shimmery blush. It has the little reflective particles and a little rosy color, so it gives me that fresh look. So a little gloss, a little blush, mascara and eyeliner, and you're good to go.
Being a mom is definitely the hardest job in the world. Now add on a layer of having to hold on to your cultures and value, raise your children the way you were raised in a country that they're not familiar with, America. Now you have to figure out how to maneuver two different cultures. Today we're sitting with Dr. B. She is a couples and marriage therapist. Thank you for joining us, doctor. And I guess the biggest question that weans on my mind is, I was born and raised in this country, yet every day when I walk back into my house, I had to learn to be a good Indian girl. How do I raise my kids with the same cultures, traditions, and values that I was raised in, but not with the same fear I was raised in?
I think one of the biggest challenges thinking that we have to choose between one culture or the other, that we have to be an Indian or an Asian in America. The way I work with my clients is to think about how can we get the best of both worlds? How do we mix it up a little bit? If I can use an example of saag paneer, You try to make saag paneer, you don't get the same paneer that you get in India.
No.
And it doesn't come out if you try to make it with the cottage cheese.
No.
So my friends use tofu. I never thought of using tofu.
Interesting.
Interesting, right? And that's what I'm talking about, that you mix up the ingredients. And so partly what our parents did was used fear-based parenting.
Absolutely.
For us, we have to be looking at what's going on in the American culture. It's starting to become a more child-focused society.
Right.
India traditionally was more a parent-based focus in terms of parenting.
Okay, so Dr. B, from what I understand, you're saying take the good of both societies and let's leave off the bad. It's a very inclusive way of being a mother. You're not choosing one or the other. But how do you instill fear of parenting within your child? In other words, they shouldn't be scared of me, but be scared of disappointing me as a mother.
So I don't disagree that you take the good from both. But here's the biggest challenge in terms of what's bad for one may not be bad from the other's perspective. So partly the discussion is, how do you even figure out what is bad and why is it bad? We didn't do that with our parents. We wouldn't say this is bad.
No.
But today's child, and our children are growing up in an American context, and children are encouraged to speak their mind. So if we just shut them down, we are in some ways alienating them. And they're going to go in the direction of probably what you just don't want, but they're not telling you. So I prefer to come from a relationship-based parenting rather than a fear-based parenting.
I see.
And by relationship, I don't mean I'm your best friend, tell me everything and we don't have any boundaries. Relationship in terms of how do we do this together?
Okay.
I have an 8-year-old who knows that he gets consequences when his voice level goes up.
Really?
Beyond a point, he will have a consequence.
Wow.
But when he's happy, he's like, yeah! And we all go, stop. So the other day, he just gets up and he goes and he draws his own chart and he says, okay, I get it. When I cross this level, which is 8, and he marks it in red, then I get a check. And if I have 5 checks, then I lose something. He has learned the process by which we are teaching him on how to self-regulate.
Got it.
Does he do it perfectly? No.
No, he's 8.
He's 8, exactly. And the idea is he's getting the concepts.
Got it.
So part of it as parents is for us to slow down.
There's no time to slow down.
That's the trick.
How do you slow down in this world? Everything is such a fast-paced society.
Exactly, especially living in New York City.
Right.
It is so fast. Slowing is a frame that I'm talking about. We are constantly thinking in terms of tasks and what we're doing. What I'm talking about is how to be. If I start choosing a way of being with my son, it's very different than, oh, I've got to take him here, I have to do this, I've got to teach him that. And that is the pace that I'm talking about.
So it's just taking a breath.
It's taking a breath.
Taking a breath and deciding what's important.
What's important, exactly.
Every time I visit a dress shop, I feel like a kid in the candy store, looking at everything, touching everything, and thinking everything will look great on me. Well, that's not always the case. We're here at Shennai Couture in New York City, meeting with the founder, Shrin Vinyak, who's going to take us through the right things to wear at the right age in our life. And if you have a part of your body you're just trying to cover up, Shrin's got advice for you on that as well. Check it out.
So you're a mom and you're in your 30s and you've just been invited to this fabulous wedding and you have absolutely no idea on what to wear to this event. There's two things that are extremely important for you to keep in mind when picking what you want to wear. A, the fact that you need to understand your body and you need to be comfortable with it. It's not about making sure that your body fits into the clothes, it's about making sure that the clothes do well by your body. And the second part of it is not to turn around and say that 30s old, 40s old, 50s or 60s are old, but it's about being able to understand your age and give it a certain amount of elegance. So at 30, you're a little bit more risque than you are at 40, and then at 40, you're a little bit more risque than you are at 30. So some ideas for your 30s. One of the choices that I would bring up is this stitch sari. The sari is a lovely way to go in general. Two problems that we typically face with them as a woman, as a mom, and then at that stage in our life. One is the fact that a lot of us don't know how to drape a sari and potentially also don't know how to carry one or have the time to drape one. Who has the time to drape a sari when you have two kids running around you asking for a glass of milk and throwing their toys all around? So this sari, as you see, is actually a dress. It zips up on the side. You're not ever going to be worried about your pleats falling out or anything coming out of place. And then if you also have young children, then the good thing about this is that none of the beading on it or none of the styling on it is going to bother your children, which is a very important thing. So mom, now you're in your 40s, your kids are a little bit older, you feel a little bit more glamorous because you're kind of getting back to your life and you're getting back to your body. You want to look fabulous, but you still want to look elegant. So here is one of my options for something like that. There's a couple of reasons I love this piece in particular. A, it's absolutely in style with what the trends are at the moment. It has fabulous colors, which is a great way to go. And then on top of that, it has a silhouette and it has beading that works for you in a really nice way. So you're elegant, but at the same time, you're not that woman out there in her 40s who, in her want to be dressed up, is just wearing something that flings from the top to the bottom, because that's not the way to go. Elegant is the way to be. So you made it to your 50s. We still have the children. We want to be a little bit calmer about our lives. We still want to be fun. A couple of options for a woman in her 50s. One of the pieces that I love is this kaftan outfit. A, because it's very elegant, it's comfortable for any body type, and it is such a simple piece to have in your closet and put on for anything. Style it the way you want to go, and you'll just work wonderfully with it. If you want to be a little bit more subdued, then maybe you could do with something like that. It's got a great silhouette, it's got a little bit of beading, it's got a light color, it just works perfectly. The greatest understanding that you need to have is that anybody can look sexy. It's always about being able to do justice to your body. Never try and hide or fluff up the body part that you're worried about. Just use it to accentuate you well. If you have the big boobs, use them well. It doesn't necessarily mean that just because I have big boobs, I cannot wear something like this or I cannot wear something like this. You just need to make sure that it cuts you in the right place and then it flows down in the right way. This is a great piece to go with even if you feel like you have a pear-shaped body. So we have wide hips and we have a big stomach, or if we have a big butt that we want to hide. Your torso is something that you want to accentuate, and you can use something like this to do it. Our goal when we're dressing is always to look like $1 million, but do we have the $1 million to spend? That's the important part of it. We all know where our budget goes and we all know what our expenses are. That doesn't necessarily mean that you cannot look fabulous. You can look fabulous and not have to spend an amazing amount of money. And there's a couple of quick things that you can do to do that. The first and most important is to look for when is a good time to buy. Look for promotions, look for sales. There's no shame in that. We all want to be able to get a good buy, and that's a good thing. So don't be that woman that runs out the last minute 2 weeks before your event and will just go ahead and splurge and buy whatever, or she'll be that person that'll buy something that's not entirely what she would want to look like, only because time doesn't permit and the budget doesn't permit. Plan ahead, plan well. For instance, here at Shennai, we host several trunk shows and promotions during the holiday season and during the summer. A trunk show is a time when a designer visits from India and brings in an entire collection, which is absolutely gorgeous, right on target, and priced well below retail. So you might not have an event to wear it to right away, but plan ahead. Get a piece that you think you could use for your next event and you'd still look fabulous in. The other thing about looking like you're $1,000,000 is to be able to spend your money wisely. My advice is, two things that you need to do is you need to always buy a piece that you can multi-use. Don't spend an arm and a leg, and what you do end up spending, spend it on something that you can use in several different ways. So for instance, if you decided to go out and buy something like this, this would make a fabulous cover-up when you had that swanky party at the beach, or you could totally use it as a dress in the summer. But the beauty of it is, if you were going to an Indian event and you needed to dress it up, it would be easy enough to team up with a neutral churidar and a neutral dupatta and have a beautiful outfit. We talk a lot about being glamorous. We talk a lot about being bling and talk a lot about being elegant. As long as we do it all in the right proportion, in the right way, to our benefit, it's a great way to be. So the ideal way to dress up really quick for an Indian event you need to go to, but you don't have anything to wear for, and you don't want to go out and get anything new either, because you probably aren't going to use it again, is to do your basic black dress. Get a beautiful black cocktail dress, which whether you have one in your closet or you need to invest in is always a good purchase. And then team it up with a beautiful piece of elaborate Indian jewelry. This is something which if you wore with an extremely blinged out lehenga, probably would look a bit too much. But if you were wearing a black dress or just a neutral outfit and you decided to team it up with something like this, wouldn't that look like a stunning Indian way to be? Just extremely well done.